What's up, channel members? Steve Hyder here with Gay City Sports Media Company. First off, let me just start off by saying, from the deepest part of my heart here, guys, thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for deciding to be a community member on top of that and helping to financially support this channel, guys. It means a lot to me. So, in response to the community poll that I put out for you guys, you wanted to learn a little bit about wholesale and the way that kind of works. So I'm going to dive in. I'm going to give you guys a few principles, a few concepts. I'll show you a real world application to how it kind of works and where you can identify and find some of these items. But I will warn you, in my opinion, unless you have a lot of money built up, if you have a lot of money built up, or you have $1,000 worth of disposable income you can throw at it, I think there are other ways you should start, and then you build your way towards wholesale. But with that said, if you want to turn this into a six-figure and beyond, potentially seven-figure or beyond business, truth be told, there's only one way of probably doing that. You're going to have to get involved in wholesaling, guys. There's just no way. You got to have a certain quantity, a certain inventory. You have to have so many listings. Like, it's just the pure numbers. It's all this comes down to the numbers. All right, y'all. So with that said, let's jump a little bit into the topic, if you will. So the first thing I want to talk to you guys about is just some terms. Don't lose sight of what these things mean. I just want to make sure that we're being clear. You guys understand what I'm saying here. So when I say something like manifested, unmanifested, or somewhere in the middle, all that really means is, are they openly telling you? Are they revealing? Or are they disclosing to you what is contained inside the packaging? 99.9% of things that you get involved in will probably either be unmanifested or something in the middle, right? You'll know it's makeup products. You'll know it's cell phone accessories, but you won't know exactly the brands and what's in there. If you want to manifest it wholesale or liquidation or bulk purchase, it's going to cost you more. Straightforward, guys, it costs you more to do that. At the end of the day, it's all about the numbers, guys. So if this is someone that wants to work with you, then they'll work with you. If you get something and it doesn't equal the value you paid for, you should stand up for yourself and say, hey, I don't know what's going on here, Chief, but yo, you sold me something that's worth $3 and you got me in a buying cost at $2. Either you're going to work with me on a fair price for this, or we ain't ever doing business again. Like, that's how it is, guys. And I'm going to tell you right now, you will catch some L's. Do not expect to go into this hitting home runs every time. It's just not the way it works, guys. You're going to catch L's. There's just no doubt about it. What you're trying to do is you're trying to build relationships. You're trying to identify those people. And I would talk to them through communications and say, hey, man, look, if you rip me off, I'm never going to do business with you again. But if you're fair and honest with what you're selling me, then we might be able to work out some bigger purchases down the road here. We might be able to work out some more frequent purchases down the road here. But I'm going to need you to work with me and being honest in the way that you're handling the situation. Just because you made a bad purchase, don't push that off on me. So you kind of have to be aware of that kind of thing, right? So with that said, let's get into a real-world application of how you do this. And I'm going to show you how you can identify these things. Okay, ladies and gents, this is Macari. This is a liquidation pallet example here. You can see they want $200 plus $25 shipping here. Fairly affordable price range here, guys. This is not that expensive, if I'm being honest, okay? What you'll get is 2 boxes stuffed full of overseas packages that are undeliverable. You can possibly make 10 times your money. Never rely on that, guys. Here's what you're looking for. They're promising you 2 boxes of approximately 400 items, okay? So 2 boxes, 400 items, you want to do the math, right? So you're talking $2, a little less than $2, well, a little more than $2 per item is what you'll be paying for. Because you're in at $200, you got 400 items, you want to make sure that phone accessories would make you enough money for you to spend $225 on. What I can tell you is most phone accessories do sell very, very fast. So you do have that kind of positive thing here. It's shipping to you from 2 days from California. What I do love about this, guys, is the fact that because it's $25, it tells me that this is not freight. You do not want to pay for freight if you don't want to. If you don't have to, I should say. Freight is incredibly expensive. Never pay for freight if you don't need to. All right, so in terms of distributors outside of what I just showed you, you can go with a place like Alliance. So Alliance, like aent.net or .com, something like that, guys. I'll link it down below for you. The thing with that is, guys, is you'll need a business license. Okay, you will need a wholesale license to work with them because they only work with people who have that particular license, right? Established businesses. Most states, it doesn't cost you a single dollar to, get a wholesale license. The issue is that when you get a wholesale license, you're going to have to start filing your taxes on a quarterly basis. So every quarter you got to pay your taxes, unfortunately. So you have to do estimated revenue and all that kind of stuff, all right? With that said, you'll be able to get from a place like AENT Alliance, you'll be able to actually get a purchase order. So with that purchase order, you can then basically submit that to a place like Amazon and get ungated in the categories. Amazon's the largest distributor out there. So you definitely want to try to get ungated if you can from Amazon, guys. That would definitely help you out a lot. But you're talking about substantially more money would need to be involved with a place like Alliance in order to make those purchases. But you can buy things like the Madden games, you can buy DVDs, CDs, anything you want to buy, you can buy from Alliance, basically. With that said, there are other ways. I just showed you an example that came from like Macari. There's Poshmark, there's eBay. There's all these different little small platforms that also do these kind of type of purchases to where you can make it and purchase things like this, guys. It's not just one-way street here. So you can always look for wholesale or liquidation on those things. The last place I'll give you is a place like Wholesale Ninjas, which Wholesale Ninjas will give you like liquidation. It's a lot of makeup products from them, so if you guys are comfortable selling makeup, to me, I don't care, man. If it makes money, it makes money. What does it matter, right? But they also do sell you sometimes like some Target stuff. So you'll get Target, unclaimed or, kind of boxes. It'll all be quasi-manifested. You're not going to get a full manifestation. You'll know it's from Target, and you'll know that it probably contains X amount of electronics or X amount of clothing or X amount of so forth, guys. Games. But they're not going to give you an item-by-item accounting of what's in there. It's kind of the way that Wholesale Ninjas works. But all those websites work, guys. All those things will definitely work. They'll definitely come to your advantage. It's a matter of, at the end of the day, can you make profit? And that's what we'll get into now is like, can you make profit? On the topic of can you make profit, here's what you need to know, guys. Number one, you want to use a real-world application here. So we're going to use an LG Stylo 5 phone case, right? Because we know we have 400 phone cases coming to us for $225 when you count in the shipping, plus your taxes that you're going to probably pay there, okay? So we know that we're in about $2 and some change per phone case. I want to know if this thing is full of freaking LG Stylo 5 phone cases, what is the profit margin here, right? So the very first thing you're going to have to do is you're going to have to filter and you're going to have to find basically like how many are listed. If you start seeing things like LG Stylo 4s and there's like 50,000 listed, you should be a little hesitant here, right? Because that means that you're going to need to see a ton of solds, right? 50,000 at very minimum, you're probably going to see 10,000 solds, guys, because that tells me that you're going to be holding this product for a long time. That's your sell-through rate, right? Is pretty much how many are listed and how many sell in a given time frame. That gives you your sell-through rate, guys. So with that said, 50,000, you want to see a lot. When you filter and you see the solds and you see something like 500 sold, I wouldn't be interested, guys. It tells me that there's not a high demand for this particular phone case, right? You guys probably knew that without me telling you that an LG Stylo 5 is going to have a fairly low demand right here. Now, what I will say is there's some complexity here. We don't know how many of those 50,000 are actually Stylo 5 cases. They're just scanning the words LG, Stylo, and the number, right? So it's a little complex. You'd have to learn how to do search terms a little differently to get the exact what you're looking for. But with that said, guys, I'd be a little skeptical about this because let's just filter and do some research here. When we filter, the number one thing we can see here is colors. So pay attention to your colors, all that kind of stuff, right? But the number two thing, outside of just filtering by the colors and things like that to see like what's available, I would pay attention to a couple of other really important features here. Like, let's filter and let's see the least amount, like who's selling this for like nickels, right? You want to know what the bottom is, and the bottom here is not good. Guys, the bottom here is like $2-3. That's not good when you're already $2 in for the cost of this. So let's go down and let's mess around and let's see sold and let's see what they are selling for. When I filter and I look at the solds and I basically filter it by the least amount, what the price range is on the least amount. And there's different ways of looking at this, but I can see that people are selling them for $2-3, but at the same time I can also see that I can expect $4 to $5. So if I'm in at $2 and some change, I'm going to sell these for $5, and I still got to cover shipping because these are all free shipping. Guys, it's a hard no. You should pass on this. This is not a good opportunity. This guy is charging way too much, man. You should be in at 25 cents to 50 cents, somewhere in that range per phone case here. This guy has lost his mind. He does not have a listing here that's that desirable, in my opinion. He's just trying to push off his L's, his losses onto another person. I personally would not buy this. I wouldn't. I don't know if you guys know this, but the United States Postal Service will allow you to actually buy unclaimed mail. I think you would have a far greater success rate buying unclaimed mail from the United States Postal Service than this garbage they're trying to push off on you, personally. So just be careful, right? Like I said, sometimes you'll make a mistake, you're going to catch an L. It's about the relationships you form with people, guys. That's the bottom line, right? It's like, do they do the right thing when they know, like, oh, yeah, man, you're right, this was overpriced, clearly. Do they make things right with you? So maybe they don't give you your money back on that deal, but maybe they say, hey, look, man, you're right. So, let's just say I take off $100 off the, your next order. I take off $125, $150 off your next order, right? You got to find a way of working it out, right? That's really what it comes down to, guys. All right, y'all. I appreciate y'all's time and attention on this video. Let me know what you think, guys. If you have any other questions, I'll answer them down below. Once again, guys, thank you so much for being subscribed to the channel and being a community member. Once again, guys, it really does mean a lot. All right, y'all. I appreciate you, and I'll see you guys on the next community member video.